This is Divine Sunshine coming to you with a channeled message. Just pretty much looking at the energies that's going on now. Today is, when you watch this or when I take this, is May 13th. May 13 equals up to a 1313 portal when you add up all the numbers of the day and plus the year. And I got this from Tanya Gabrielle. This is really of us moving into our divine feminine energies and really moving into the energies of understanding that we have to practice our truth. The energies that we have presented to us, we've already had several things. I think Jupiter is coming the 14th. This is Venus. We move into retrograde, and Pluto retrograde started the 11th. And so we got really, like she was saying, smack dab in the middle of this Venus, which is helping to create that balance. But then also when we talk about matters of love, the energies that we're saying again, as far as how are we experiencing self-love, but how also are we expressing that on the outward? Are we really truly being true to who we are as going back to our sovereign being, sovereign self, going back to the understanding of us really truly showing unconditional love. At this time, I've told you all before, and April Williams always say repetitious. I'm always a person that keeps on repeating over again so you can understand it, because I know that when I'm working with the kids, a lot of times you have to repeat so you can really understand that is something that needs to be noted, that is something of importance. I know even when I took psychology classes, and I kind of my focus and concentration was also, I love anything that has psychology in it. And that understanding, as well as understanding that whenever you have a client and they bring you back to that issue again, that is always something that is noted, that is like they want you to understand that this is really my core foundational statement, that everything I say goes right back to this. So our understanding is that, again, we've got to, right now, this journey that we're taking as far as us going with this isolation, us being now having everything removed, all of the things that act as distractions are the time in which we are to take, in which we actually concentrate on ourselves and start separating the things that no longer serve us. I was talking to April Williams, and I told her something she was telling me, and I told her, you know what, the spirit brings to me collectively what's going on is that we're being like plunged. I remember upstairs, in my upstairs washroom, my mom said it was getting stocked up, and the water wasn't going down, and it wasn't running down properly. And she took a plunger, and she said, like, everything, hair, stuff, all this stuff started coming up. And so you picture like my mom representing source, and you are the sink that's stocked up with old stuff, old feelings, old beliefs, old things. And now all this stuff is just coming up from nowhere. Karmic lessons that maybe might have or might not have been. Thank you, Spirit, for turning on the light, because I was like, I'm so dark. That things in which you are really communicating and putting out there, people that maybe you hang around no longer serves you. You really take an introspection look, like, is this truly helping me to be my authentic self? The energies of Saturn retrograde, that was early, I think. Saturn is really that hardcore father figure, like fathers knows best, or he's the ones that say, okay, I see it, you didn't learn it. Think about some of those father figures that you had that said, okay, I'm going to kind of learn you, what you need to be able to do, because evidently you're not getting it. And I think about the scene with, Malcolm Jamal Warner's thing, and it was him and Bill Cosby at the Bill Cosby show. And I remember one time he was trying to teach him about money. And he's like, yeah, you got all this money. He was trying to teach about budgeting. And he gave him all that money. And he's like, yeah, so I'm going to buy this. I'm going to buy this. And he's like, no, wait, hold up, partner. Now, you ain't going to buy this. This go for your rent. This go for your electricity bill, your utility bills. By the time he got it, he said, okay, what kind of car you want? He's like, he wanted some high maintenance kind of car, sports car. He said, oh, yeah, the car note for that going to be this much. And before he knew it, he ended up, he's like, this all I got. He said, yeah, this is all you end up with. And so that's the same way, like you picture like that lesson that, that Saturn is pretty much teaching us now. It's like, okay, now go work with that. I didn't remove the friends that you thought were yours, or the job that you thought that you really wanted to be with, and the person that you thought you were supposed to be with, although you've been complaining all along that you don't want to. Okay, I'm going to remove all that. Because, see, this is not in alignment with the truth of who you are. Again, I've told you all before, I think I remember now what I was saying about the light workers. Us as being light workers, we're now moving into our DNA. We have been activated. We have been turned on to now. If you've been light working before, that means going out there, helping the world to shine to be a much brighter place than it has been. Your thing has been activated times 10. It's like a dial that's showing me, and it's like, we got to turn it up some, because see, now you're more needed now than ever before. In saying that, I had a reading with K Moon. K Moon is phenomenal about that. Found out, and I had April Williams and Kathy D laughing at me, that the chart that I had paid for before, and I think they probably did it computerized, and I know a lot of them had said that before, that's not good for you to get computerized readings, because they're not accurate on that. You need somebody to sit down and look at everything, the stars, the moons, and the mountains, and how all the placement of everything is. And when I got through with it, I was totally not who. The only thing that stayed the same was that I was an Aries. And everything else got flopped, turned upside down. I was like, what? And so, found out, I know my sun is in Aries. Found out my moon is in Aquarius. And that my rising is in Sagittarius. And I was like, wow, that explained a lot. I know some people don't believe in getting your astrology chart done, but it helps you to really kind of understand who you are, the blueprint of who you are. Everybody's different. It's nice you watch the astrology things and then say, oh, I'm an Aries, but then you'll find out like your rising is your representative. That's who people, when they meet you, that's who they see. So when they meet me like I'm a Sagittarius, although I'm an Aries. And then what is influenced by the way I move and have my being in the world is my Aquariusness, which affects the Aries and everything else. Now it's so funny because April Williams has told me, she said, you sure you ain't got not Aquarius nowhere in your chart? Because some don't feel right. And I was like, they say right here, I ain't got none of that stuff. And so she's like, yeah, because the way you operate and move and everything, you so forward thinking, some don't feel right. So I went and had gotten that. That was way before. But this K Moon's thing, this sanction everything about if you want to know your mission and purpose and you want to know it according to what's charted in your astrology, I say go to K Moon. I'm going to definitely share this again. Phenomenal. She told specifically, like, what I'm doing is what I'm supposed to be doing, telling me that also she showed me a place in my house where I had to be living in integrity. I had to really make sure. And I say, oh my God, I say that all the time on my show. Integrity. You must live with truth. They can't fit anything else in there unless you just really honestly are doing some housekeeping. This is what this time is. We all called on this time for this coronavirus. Not for the deaths that came on there, but we all had collectively, from the animals to the humans to the machines to everything, Earth, Gaia had asked for a timeout. We had, if you know that, and I know to the week to the day I had asked for it, and the next day it was shut down. I was like, dang, I'm that powerful. I shut the sucker down. We ain't going to work. Because I told her, I said, I can't do another day like this. I can't do another day. Now, in order for that to have happened like that means collectively, like they said in the word, when 2 or 3 are gathered in his name or is one of the same accord, then things get to moving. So we all said it somewhere subconsciously. No, I did. Yes, you did. One day you talk about, oh, I'm tired of going to work, or I want to stay home, or I want to do this, spend some time out. I can't do this X, Y, and Z. And all of us from the Bears, they like, I'm tired of these people coming here to Yellowstone Park, seeing us up here eating and picnicking and all this stuff. I sure would like to just roam on my own without seeing these damn humans around. And so they got their wish. From here to Africa. African lions lying out there on the road somewhere and just being free. They like, thank you, give us free. We back. They playing the circle of life and everything, partying and getting turned up out there in Africa. Because they like, oh my God, they gone. Where the humans at? They even showed even on the ocean how the ocean has returned back the sea life and everything, because they were saying how much like the oil drilling that they have in the middle of the ocean, and how these boats carrying back cargo and stuff, how it had, and you seen them out there, beautiful big manatees. It's manatees? No, that's the big ones. Manatees, the stingrays out there just floating, dolphins jumping in and out of the water. They just having a good old time. They got to turn up all the time. They talk about they on Zoom meeting. We can meet each other in the ocean. We don't need no Zoom. Look at them. So, it's just a beautiful thing. So in living into integrity, what I did was, again, move into the being of understanding that that I had to let all things out. I had to come out spiritually. And I was saying I can understand how it is for, I guess somebody said, well, that's different, but it's not. In some ways it's not. So open your mind and hear me. For those people who come out from either their lifestyle and sexual preferences or things like that, to come out in the open, you are going against other people's belief systems, okay? So now when I'm talking about my beliefs about being a twin flame or whatever like that, when she mentioned it, she showed me on my chart, and I was like, yeah, only a few core people know I do this, and they do know and they respect that. I've even came out to the DM, and I came out and told my mom, well, she been known, but she didn't know who my DM was. I came out with that. I've been spiritually, like April Williams had suggested, cleaning out, and even David from Soul Mission, clearing out, getting rid of all that stuff, and handing it over and giving back to the rightful owners that it came from, and collecting my energy back from that. One way of doing that is stating your truth. I came out on Facebook. I had pretty much not had told people about my page or welcome any of my friends to come to my page, but I did. I had one friend that asked me, okay, what is this? Just so they can get an understanding. And I told them I respect them for that, for asking that. Before I hit like, I got to know what's going on, rather if I agree with this or not, what is going on. And last night I was so kind of nervous about that, because I was like, what? And what are they going to reactions? What is it? So I'm going into ego about this, and I had to remind myself, remember what you say on your thing, your show, your channel. It's not for me to change their minds, it's for me to change theirs. I cannot conform to what they think, or like Kathy D say, to the herd mentality of doing this. This is how I am. Some of them I know that some of them, when they read it or see it, they say, oh, that don't surprise me. She's always been a little bit go to the beat of her own drum. She's always talking about energy. She's always saying, well, this is what I see. That don't surprise me. Now I can put two and two together about what she is. Others might look at it and say, well, I ain't too keen on that. Moving on and whatever, and maybe next time when I see it, they might look at me kind of sideways. That's not for me to be that's not for me to really dissect and trisect. My thing is that I got it out there, and I had 7 things Dad had to tell me in spirit, let that go, let it flow, it is. I talked to my sister, my sis Sweet, and she told me also, and I thank her for that she was saying, whoever needs it gets it. If they need it, this is going to make a profound thing to maybe answer some things for them within themselves about what is this twin flame thing. I'm thinking about, I'm also going to probably put on a video, just a little bit of just saying what it is, so it doesn't leave people questioning about what twin flames are. I can only do so much in the resonance of where they are. So if they click on it, that means somewhere in they things, they either ready, they're curious, they'll know about it. I made the imprint, I planted the seed, and then they can move on from that. But I felt that it was needed in two folds. I felt it was needed because it needed to open up. And it's just, ah, yeah, and he just, well, my friend just takes me back to about what the question he just asked about. Um, my thing is that understanding. He said his question because when he opened it up, he didn't know it was me. I got you. My thing is that when you do things like that, that helps to free up the energies for you to be able, like prosperity, things that make you more freer. Do I feel like I'm a little 10 pounds lighter? Yeah, because in some ways I felt like I was carrying a secret, you know, and that kind of got released. Now, do I suggest that to do that for everybody? You do it on your own time and plane for you to know. But I cannot be saying I'm a leader and then I'm hiding what I'm doing to the public. That's half of the issue that is with the divine masculines. They too scared to be who they are. Now, in that infinity sign that I do, I've sent the energies back to him to let him know, okay, it's out there now. Okay, be free, express who you are. Because this is going to be a true telling time, like who's really flying with me, who's not flying with me, who rocking with me, who's not rocking with me on this journey. And, you know, that should also in turn throw over to him that he should start looking at the people and start speaking his own truth on his end where he is and helping him to decipher who's rocking, who's not rocking with him. I watched Wicked Virgo Tarot. She was very good at the beginning and talking about ego and how what does it matter about what people think. That's just ego that's really striking up. They're saying, oh my God, you know, they're going to do X, Y, and Z. What's the worst thing they can do? Stop talking to me, looking at me crazy, unfriend me. Well, that's fine because I got over 2,000 friends anyway. Half of them, they're not really into the core of it. But anyway, so we'll see what it is. And I'm not Debbie Downing anybody like that. But I'm saying it's going to really kind of get rid of those people who are connected energetically to let me know who's truly needs to be connected in my circle or in my orbit or in my galaxy, my planetary systems of as we orbit around. Another thing also with this coming out is I'll shift to the divine masculine energy. Seeing the divine masculine the other day, their energy is low. It's low. You can tell that it's like a person, I've said that before, that has been like, is beaten. You can tell that they're submissive. You saying what happened to, and I think I talked about this before, and each time I see it, it's like, where's the bite, where's the edges to you? It comes out every now and then when you talk to them. But it's like, where are you? I really almost left there mad. It's like, who messed with my baby? Who messed with my DM? Where is he at? I like the spunk that he had. What happened to him? You know. But then I had to remind myself, just like a mother, like a feminine, you know, I told you I was pulling back. You've got to learn on your own, you know, because that's just how my personality is. I come up there, kicking butt and taking names and asking questions later. And, you know, I was like, that's not my thing. You could tell, like I said, submissive. When I first came in there, he was like really, he seen me, he was having like a mom and looking like a child, like, oh, where's mama? You know, looking. Then when he seen me, and I felt like it turned into that scene, like in the Garden of Eden, where God asked when after they had ate the apple and they was putting on stuff to kind of cover themselves, and God was like, who told you you was naked? You know. And that's why I felt like it was like that energy, like, who told you you weren't divine? Who didn't knock you down to you down that like you were just really just regular? It's like to me like the Matrix. And I felt like, I was like, you're not Neo. You haven't even evolved into that. You just regular. What's his name? Now that's Agent Smith. What was his name before he got into Neo? With that, he's just regular Joe. I could feel the nervousness every now and then. It would come in. It's like a person, I'm scared to kind of come back out like Neo, cause I don't know if they listening. It's like, you know, it was just a very eerie and interesting place to see the DM in. You know, very submissive. You could tell he was tired with that. And I was saying to myself, you know what? For once, I was thanking God. Thank God I'm not energetically tied with you right now, because this will be a pulling on me like never before. That it is. But at the same time, let's talk about the positive. I pulled that card out before. He is, I say, for the energies, for the current energies for the week, for the divine masculine. And I seen it for myself. Acting with a conscience. You could tell it was purpose for what he was doing everything for. And gentle was the two cards that came out from 50 for the divine masculine. And it was more of a gentle spirit, which all divine masculines have. You know, it's just the things that they have done to layer on top of it that makes people kind of question and be like, okay, I don't know, because they're coming from a place of hurt. They come from a place of childhood wounds. They look doing things that have been reflected in their environment, what people have done. But at the core of them, and I know that from my dad, and I know that from talking to other ones, David from Soul Mission, for, also Sean Barker for Extropic Esoterica. For him, I can tell when I tell it in their spirit, as the comedians say, their true self is very gentle. They have a gentle spirit and quality. And you can understand why in the society that we're in now, they cannot move and have their being like that in a society that's pushing them in the whole opposite direction to express, go get it, you the man, and you like everything. Just remind me of my dad. Everything within me is opposite of that. I don't move like that. I don't move and have my being. That's not how I operate within my world. But I'm pushed to be that something that I'm not. And so it's more of just polishing through these things. You can tell that, you know, they're trying to be very pleasing to things, pleasing to people, trying to make sure that, you know, everybody's satisfied, everybody's happy with that. However, again, if that's not living in your truth and you lying about being very subservient or very catering to other people like that, you got these energies that are coming along that's going to push. It just said June. So really some of you all, and I think I remember, it seems like Wicked Tarot said it too, but I'm confirming it because I heard it say June. Some other major shifts is going to kind of happen as well. Says June 5th, which would be interesting. That's a 6 and a 5, which is the end of my Sunshine Circle program too. Kind of looking at it like there's fives. Things have been changed. Even May 5th, something had changed. So look at that, you know, some major shifts are going to occur. And so just really kind of look out for that. Work on yourselves, divine feminines. Like I said, I've seen and I've asked source from the beginning for me to kind of keep that connection so I can still be able to report to you all what's going on. And I'm so in the spirit say, and it's not pretty. It's not to a point, but there is change and there is evolution happening right now. It told me right now he's just going through the chrysalis process where the inside and where the caterpillar really liquefies. It melts down everything, the whole system and everything, so it can start and reborn and rebuild over again the body parts of the butterfly. So right now, this is the stage that the divine masculine is in right now, where he's just being broken down. He's just down to almost to its liquefied state and saying, now Source said, now I can work with you. Now let me start to rebuild you from the state. Divine feminine, the same thing too. Getting rid of everything, people who no longer serves you, so you can really stand in your power and to move on, because this is the divine feminine, like I say, starting here at number 13, which is death, which again, death is death to rebirth, not number 8, which is to death, which is regenerate. Regenerate means I'm still working with the same parts again, but then I'm gonna redo over with the parts and just reassemble, almost like Transformers. It's still the truck, and then it builds it to a robot. No, we ain't doing that. Okay. That what we're doing is now causing a new rebirth of who you are, and I talked about that in the current energies, the overall, which is beating to your own drum. So now you're getting to the point that you're beating to your own drum. Okay, rather it's looking like something that you're familiarized with or you're not. You're creating your new normal, just like it's reflected in the world. We're just stripping everything away, and so now we're starting all over again to cause that rebirth of who you are. Some things may stay, some things may change. That's what it said too. But again, the major things for the divine feminine is now we're coming into the power of honoring our emotions and what our spirit and soul really says, what makes us happy. We get into that bliss, and once you get to focusing in on your bliss, you're moving into union with self. So that means you've got to get honest. You got to get honest. And if you can't get honest, do seek out other people who can help you. I'm the one that got my own channel, and I still seeked out K Moon to do astrology, which helped me to say, okay, let me kind of just at least turn you in the right direction as to where you need to go. So you can get a reading with me. Go to divineunisols11.co. I have been guided to add so many resources to help you all, us to come together to synergy, because this is the time as divine feminines and divine masculines, we have to come together and really have people kind of point us also into the right direction to support us with a lot of things that's happening. Because again, like they say, they're plunging you. So as they're plunging you, they're bringing up all this stuff. Somebody can try to tell you, because sometimes you sitting there and you deal with all this stuff, you coming up with the same solutions. That's why you need to add somebody else to your mix. That's why I came up with the support group as well. Sunshine Circle. I thank you. It is growing. We get each day. I go to my mailbox. Thank you, my email, and somebody else is joined in. And I thank God for Jupiter 1111. She's been bringing them in on her channel as well. People that say, oh, I want that. I need that in my life. Some place where you can talk, where we help to redirect you. I use the cards, and you get many readings to help you as well. I also have different things. We do journaling in there. We talk about our problems, but then I also have you walk away with solutions. That's the main thing about support, because it's not, I'm thinking about my sister. She'd go to her support AA meetings, and I like, what you learn. I just sit there and listen. Well, okay, well, you supposed to in them meetings walk out with something in the support system. So I make sure that you do that. So if you're interested in that, go to divineunisols11.co. It's just $11.11. We meet 3 times a week, and at 1 o'clock p.m. Central on Zoom. Okay, real easy peasy lemon squeezy. That helps to rebuild you from the beginning, the middle, and the end of the week. I also have my sister Sweet. She hooked me up on Wix. Wix is an app. I did that also. You can go to my community tab. Maybe when I'm finished with this, I will put that down there too, where you join. And we have support. I put questions up there if you want to talk. That's another way. You don't have to pay for it. It's another free way. But we talk it and talking back and forth. As well in the apps. I put up questions for the day, and you respond back to it. I think the last question I did was, well, how was these energies doing? And I talked to you about the energies, and you put your own comments to it. I also have in the Wix a section for if there's anybody that's like feel like they have some channel messages for the collective, and you don't feel brave enough to go on YouTube to do it. You can go in there and underneath that group and give your own responses about something. This is what Spirit told me. I'm feeling like the DM, like Benita does that all the time. So now that's a way for her to say, okay, this is what I feel. I want to share with the collective because I think they need to know, okay? Or like Ethereal Sources 777 that said, I noticed this with the planets. Okay, if you notice that and you think that's something very essential too that we need to know on our journey, go on there and post that on there, for that. It's a section for that. And then I also have the playground experience as well. So if we have a topic that we talked about on the playground experience as well, and you want to continue on and you want to get some more information between myself, Kathy D, and April Williams, they've been voluntold. They're like, I didn't even know about this. Well, you'll find out when I upload this. To go on the Wix to Divine Unisouls 11, and you can talk about some more. I'm giving you more things so we can gather our strength and our power together so we can be able to move forward in that being, because we got to stop now repeating the cycles of the karmic cycles and repeating the cycles of the stories of the woe is me, so we can move forward and actually do what we're supposed to be doing. And maybe I might add a section, this came to me, like resources is something that maybe you might want to be able to do, or you offering as well your services as well. We can have that, because everybody's skill set is differently. Everybody does different, a whole different way of doing it. Just like Jubilee 1111 and myself, we pretty much the same vein. But again, she's got another skill set that adds on to that. Just like I do the past lives, she do the chakra clearing, those things. I do the coaching. She does the readings, and also the motivational things of materials and books and all that stuff. But I believe in more so let's talk it out. She's more of the written one. She's texty. This one, the written way, and I'm the opposite. I say let's talk it out, so either way it goes, my thing is everybody has a niche, everybody has a way of getting a message out there, and so keep those things in mind. All right, is there anything else I want to push? Join us this Friday for the Playground Sandbox experience. We will be taping tonight, and it probably will be released either tonight or tomorrow. Sometimes it takes all day for YouTube to release that. I don't know what's going on with them. And so look out for our playground experience on that one. The title is The Lies That the Divine Feminine Tells. The things that we kind of keep ourselves in that cycle, which doesn't help us to get out. And so that's a good one, and we'll do a continuation of that in the sandbox, which is Q&A live, 5:30 Central and 6:30 Eastern time. Okay, and at Hawaiian Standard Time, that'll be 12:30. So join us this Fridays. Fridays we have Q live. Okay, I think that's about it. Trying to see all that thing. Again, go to divineunisouls11.co for any resources or anything that you need as well. But then also look out on my community page for if you want to be a member of the Divine Unisouls 11 group as well. All right, as always, stay uplifted, stay motivated, stay ascended. Namaste, namago. Love you.